Just finished 24,000 miles on my Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive with the LFP battery, and I'm presenting its real-world range check driving from Cupertino to Big Sur in the central coast of California and back. This range check was conducted in real-world conditions, starting the drive with 100% in state of charge from Cupertino, driving to the picturesque Big Sur and back. So let's get into it. In this range check, the drive was in real world conditions. It was still a loop style check to and from the given destination. That way we control for elevation, wind, etc. to the extent possible, and that makes it that much more representative of the car's capability. We maintain 70 miles per hour to the extent possible, or highway speed plus 5. In this check, we will not look at the delivered efficiency over the segments of the battery pack, but in 100, 150, 200 miles traveled and the final total to keep it simple. The LFP battery has about 4.8% of degradation over its 24,000 miles at the start of this check. It projected 259 miles of range at 100% in state of charge instead of the original 272 miles when it was brand new. If the battery was 57 kWh usable when new, that would indicate usable energy of about 54.3 kWh at 100% in state of charge now. This number is something that we'll refer to time and again to check our calculation against. I'd like you to keep this number 54.3 kWh in mind. The 20,000 miles review of the Model 3 I presented recently should prove useful in understanding this car. You can check that video here. This is one of my favorite destinations. Big Sur sits on the iconic Highway 1, the two-lane scenic route that passes right between the drama of the mountains, meeting the sea on the California west coast. The 656-mile highway was first proposed in the latter part of the 19th century and construction began only in 1919. It completed in 1937. Franklin Roosevelt's Public Works Administration provided the financing. It took prison labor and 70,000 pounds of dynamite to construct. With numerous names, it's the westernmost highway in California. That's a small capsule of history of this route. In a range check, we'll traverse only a small part of it. Speeds on this section will be under 70 miles per hour, but then that's that much more real world representation. The map in this video should prove useful in getting an idea of the route. The first reading at 104 miles, the trip had consumed about 23 kWh of energy at 221 watt per mile or 4.53 miles per kWh. I missed taking the reading at the exact 100 miles point. That's still industry beating after 24,000 miles of driving. The battery state of charge at this point was 58%. The 23 kWh sums up with the 42% of the original 54.3 kWh in full usable capacity. That efficiency was in fact lower as the last 20 to 25 miles involved climbing higher elevation, moving towards Big Sur. These would surely be compensated on the return. At 150 miles, the consumption was 32 kWh and the efficiency had climbed to 214 watt per mile or 4.67 miles per kWh. Clearly the gains from the descent driving from Big Sur towards Monterey. The last 46 miles driven using 9 kWh compared to the first 104 that took in 23. The battery state of charge was 41% at this point, indicating 59% of the 54.3 kWh consumed in the total of 150 miles. It's worth keeping in mind that good driving practices go only so far. Range numbers are affected with weight and design factors up top. The height, the frontal area, and the overall aerodynamic profile of the car play a huge role. Given those, driving at a steady speed, preferably at the lower limits, safely driving behind a large vehicle to take off the wind resistance, if any, and having tires at the manufacturer recommended pressure are some of the basic things that can assist in getting higher range. All subject to given conditions, of course. The Model 3 gives you the best starting variables, but in times of stress, all those stated driving factors can make a difference. At 200 miles, the consumption was 43 kWh and the efficiency was slightly lower from the previous reading at 217 watt per mile or 4.61 miles per kWh. The battery indicated 20% in state of charge at this point. That was from the 54.3 kWh when full, indicating 79 to 80% of consumption at this stage. The efficiency had understandably plateaued at this point, and all gains from the descent had been realized. The final numbers were as follows. The total trip was 226 miles and it ended up utilizing 49 kWh of the 54.3 kWh usable battery capacity at 216 watt per mile or 4.63 miles per kWh. That was about 90% of the usable battery and the state of charge indicated on return was exactly 10%. That would imply the current real world range of about 251 miles. We had charged to 100% at home and plugged in back at 10% on return. We did 226 miles without any public charging on the road. As we enjoy free charging at home, and that's a special case, our energy cost was zero. Most battery packs maintain some buffer even below the 0% state of charge. At some point around that, the car could fail to keep highway speeds, and this is generally dangerous territory, highly avoidable. But in an extreme situation, even after hitting 0%, users can navigate to a charger, driving slowly and following the car's instructions. The route planning of the car is critical in this. But this is just some assurance for those who may experience excess anxiety. On the whole, never get to the point as far as possible where the car reaches battery exhaustion. The Model 3 still is the best point A to point B car, the best daily driver, and at 24,000 miles, it delivers very good battery yield. The only car that comes to mind that's comparable in numbers is the Lucid Air, but that's a different segment. I love this trip to conduct a range check on the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive at 24,000 plus miles. Trust you did too. If you'd like to see my catch-up impressions of the Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck, check that video here or via its link in the description. See you in the next one.